Cool. What's up, everybody? Sorry for the wait. I swear Aaron's computer's trying to sabotage me, but we're finally live. Um, it's the first, hopefully, of many episodes of the JK But Really podcast. We thought long and hard about that name uh, over a span of 5 or 6 hours, and finally came up with it. Um, but just like John's tweet and my tweet, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. Super Bowl's this weekend, so we'll figure out. Unfortunately, John's team's not in it, but we'll figure that out. Maybe next year, not this year. But we'll talk about the Super Bowl, a couple other sports on TV, in person, stuff like that. We'll talk about gaming as a whole, where it's at right now, the future of it, and stuff like that. So, pretty excited though. But anyways, I'm Chad. I'm Kamikaze Kelly.
My name's John, also known as Wolf Labs. What's going on?
But yeah, well, let's just
dive
straight into it.
Unless you want to plug a little thing.
Yeah,
I was trying to think like when and where I was gonna say it. Aaron's just like spamming the chat right now, which is helpful for me. But anyway, I'm really excited. I tried to do something like this on my own a couple months ago, and Chad and I have been talking about this for a while, so I'm kind of excited to get it moving a little bit and kind of see how it goes and kind of see what sucks and what doesn't suck. Get more cadence and conversation between us, and it kind of all started just playing Fortnite, and then we just hours would fly by and we're like, hey, we could talk a lot to each other. So let's try this. And now we're here.
And now we're here.
So yeah, let's jump right in. So Super Bowl is this weekend.
Where is it?
Yep, in Atlanta this weekend. We have the 12-4 Patriots?
12-4. I believe so. They're not.
And the 11-5 Rams, I believe they were 11-5. So who do you got?
Yeah. I'm a Pats fan, so I gotta stick with the Pats. I don't know. They haven't really been consistent like they have been in years past. They've been super spotty, almost blowing games. But I don't know, man. You just rule number one in football is just don't bet against Brady. Is really what it comes down to. With Brady, Belichick, you got a couple other, big playmakers. You got Gronk. You got Michelle, who's running back now. You got Edelman. I don't know. They got too many power weapons. So it's like I said, man. It's hard to bet against them. OJ's with me on it. OJ gets the go. OJ is the one with a lot of money on it, right?
Yeah, OJ's got some.
He's got.
I don't know if
he's got
can
a
we
lot
talk
to
about
gain.
that?
Yeah, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of money on it.
I thought of a spiel about like, we're gonna try to be PG-13, children safe, and I realize I swear a lot, so I'm gonna try my best.
I'm trying to work on it. I mean, I don't know. You can kind of control it, but at the same time, you really can't.
Well,
as much as I could, as much as I try, anyways.
Well, getting back to my Super Bowl pick, I think the Patriots are gonna win. They're a really good football team. Everyone keeps saying that, they're the underdog and this, that, and the other, which is just. That's the exact word I was going to use, is asinine. Yeah. You literally took it out of my mouth. But
the fact that's
it
yeah.
like as long as Brady's on the field, like they're they have a very good chance of winning the Super Bowl every year. That being
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams like really kept in the game. I could see them winning like, by a little bit, but I think they're going to keep it in the game. I don't think it's going to be this like huge lopsided blowout and Brady, gets pulled away in and it's his golden carriage and paraded through Boston. But I think, I think the defense from the Rams is, really going to give them trouble. And, Aaron Donald said this week, like, we can't get frustrated, or I'm kind of paraphrasing, but we can't get frustrated when we're not getting to him because, Brady's got one of the quickest releases in the league. Yeah. But he was saying, if we don't get to him, we can't get frustrated. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. Keep going because Aaron Donald's a menace and he will, change games by himself.
Yeah. Well, and like I mentioned it before. Anybody who ever talks about it is going to mention it too. Of just, I don't know, they're just so hard to play against. Whether I'm shocked that so far in the season there hasn't been a scandal yet against the Patriots. Yeah. Usually, there's always one thing each year that is. Deflategate, there's always one thing a year that everybody always, tries to pick apart, or this is the reason that they're successful or that they're winning, that they've won and stuff like that. But this year's it's kind of been a rough, couple. Usually their record, they usually have 1 or 2 losses, but four for them, and watching those games that they lost and even watching the games that they've won, they've been super spotty, which scares me a little bit. Like you said, I don't think they're going to roll over and the Patriots are going to steamroll them. I think it's going to be close. I have the Patriots winning, not just as a biased Patriots fan, but just because if they use all the tools the way they should be used and the way they ought to be used, then I think they're always going to be the team to beat. Like you said, with Brady as a quarterback and Belichick as a coach, it's tough to
yeah. So what's your favorite, or what's the matchup you're like looking forward to the most?
I think I get like a player to watch or matchup in the sense of what?
Like for me, it would be Brady versus that defensive line.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Michelle as the running back versus that defensive line. He's been a cannon, mind you, a small cannon, because he's not that big, but the dude's got wheels and he's been turning it on, relatively. He to me has been the biggest, out of nowhere for the Patriots. I mean, like I said, they've got so many big names. They got Gronkowski, who's always double manned and stuff like that. So he can barely get the ball. If he does, it's late in the game, and that's because Michelle has run through the line 8 consecutive times. So then they double man the center and give it up to, or leave a little bit of space for Gronk to maybe make some room and headway. But, I don't know. I think the matchup is going to be Michelle versus that defensive line, to see what he can do with that. But I don't know. We'll see. If they shut that down, then it could be a huge, difference. I could see that going a completely, obviously a completely different way.
It's been kind of fun watching Sony Michel. I mean, he was an athlete. You weren't quite sure, like, he can be a guy that gets the ball every down in the NFL, like, but he went to the Patriots and like that was the best thing for him, and because they'll find a good role for him, and I think he proved to be a lot more than that. I think he proved that he could be a 3-down back. He can catch the ball. He can
Yeah.
make plays. He can line up, every once in a while outside. I don't think he did it too often, but he can take the ball in the
Yeah.
shotgun. He takes the ball in the eye. He can go in. He can go out. I think he proved a lot of people wrong, um,
Yeah.
and and
Yep.
it's kind of interesting seeing that the team that they've been the last couple of years is to get the ball out of Brady's hands right away, take a deep shot here and there, and then running was like kind of as necessary, or goal line stuff. But you know back when Brady like really got going, he had Corey Dillon, and Corey Dillon was a stud. And I mean that was only for a couple of years, but again, like it was all run based. Then they got the big tight ends, and then then it started to become more the vertical game. But now it's kind of going back. It's kind of
Yep.
going back a little bit, to the power run game. Um, so yeah, I definitely agree that that's one of the big matchups. For me, like I said, I think it is Brady versus that D line. Um, I think if they don't get to him, they're gonna have a long day, and they're gonna be running upfield pretty quick, because Brady's gonna get that ball out of his hands really really quick, and
Yeah.
all these studs on
Yeah.
the D line, if they can't get to him, they're taken out of the game basically. And the Rams secondary isn't great. Their linebackers are fine. All their pressure starts from that D line, and when the D line gets in the backfield, quarterbacks have to make a bad decision potentially, and then it makes the corners look better than they are.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like you said, he's hard to bet against. Just as the team aside, Brady himself is hard to bet against, because, like you said, he does have that quick release. By the time you get to him and he sees you coming, he's either gonna throw the ball away so that it's not a loss, or he's just gonna find somebody. I mean, I noticed the other day, or the other week against the Chiefs, he and this might have been one of the controversial calls. I know there was a couple back and forths, but when he got quote unquote hit in the face mask,
Yeah.
and the penalty got called. But I noticed when they did the super slow mo, I noticed that as the hand was coming down, he had closed his eyes all while his hand was in the back, and threw the ball clear after his eyes were
Mm-hmm.
closed. Now, granted, again, I'm sure you're an NFL quarterback. I'm sure 90% of them already have their minds made up, know where their players are going to run, know the routes and everything like that. But for someone with the IQ, the sporting IQ to know where the guys are, that's that. I don't know. That's, like I said, I'm sure just about every, if not for sure, every QB could do that. But just to see that was just like, okay, well, this guy literally doesn't need his eyes open to to throw the ball to everybody. So, but yeah, I agree that that's going to be that'll be a good matchup, and that'll be the main one. I think yeah, Michelle will run the ball, but the talk around the whole thing is going to be Brady. Now, let me ask you this: Super Bowl's over with. Does Brady retire after
I
this
don't think
year?
he does. He he
No.
said this week, my goal is 45, and everyone's wanted him to retire for the last 3 years or whatever, but Duke can still ball,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't think he looked slowed down this year. I mean, maybe last year, sure, but
Yeah.
this year,
They say
yeah,
that every year. Every year they say he looks slow, and then he makes it deep in the playoffs, or wins the Super Bowl.
yeah, and he
Everybody's like, well, not. He didn't fully fall off, and they start
right,
backpedaling.
and I mean,
But
and he's still a top 5 quarterback, top 10 for sure. I mean, I think top
oh yeah,
5, uh, and
yeah,
it's like,
I would,
so
I would agree with that.
how long do you ride Brady out? If he does, when he gets
Yeah,
to 45 and he says I'm done, then that's fine. But like, let's say he wants to keep playing, or let's say next year. Actually, let's say next year he's like, because how old is he? 42. Yeah.
42. I believe. Is he? Let's see.
So let's say let's say he's, actually, yeah. Look that up real quick.
Tom Brady. Why won't it just give me his age?
It's helpful to Google Tom Brady and age, all in one shot.
He was born in 77. So what is he?
41.
41.
So 41, 42. Say
Yeah.
he is the 20th ranked quarterback next year. What do you do with him?
Well, that's the thing, and a lot of people just football. You get these Hall of Fame players. Do you ride it? It's like a car. Do you get rid of it while it's still worth something, or while you still got some left in the tank of it, or do you ride it into the dirt till it's past its time? Um, does he play until he's 45? In the last 3 years that he's a quarterback are just terrible, and they don't make the playoffs, and all these other things, and you just ride it out because it's Tom Brady, or next year, like you said, if he's 20th, they miss the playoffs, they go 500, and everybody's like, okay, like that wasn't great, but maybe it was just a bad year, and then the next year the same thing happens. You pull the trigger, they're gonna have to, because it's not about, well, let's make him feel good on his way out. I mean, that's everybody else's money too. It's a business,
Right.
so you gotta think about that. Um, but I don't know. Like you said, he hasn't. I guess he's lost a little bit of his edge, but still will win Super Bowls.
Right.
So you can complain all you want about the game, but it's still putting fans in the seats. It's still bringing Super Bowl rings to New England. So I mean, it's going to be tough for them to be like, you know what, man, you're past your time. Like you just need to move on. So yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't know when the so
I think, yeah, I think at
we'll have
45
to,
I think
we'll
at
have to see.
45 he's done. I think he's going to hold true to his word. I think he's going to still play really well. Maybe at 44 and 45, he's a top 12
Yeah.
quarterback, and Sony Michel's getting
Mm-hmm.
500 touches or something, or they bring in
Yeah.
another running back and, move more towards the power run. Because if anyone can build an offense around anything, it's Bill Belichick. So he'll
Yep.
protect Brady until he rides off into the sunset. Um,
Well, are they riding off in the same carriage
I
though?
don't I don't think
Is
so.
is Brady and Belichick both handing in their 2 week notice at the same
I don't
time?
know. I don't.
Because I could see that happening. I see the holy trinity of New England football: Belichick, Brady, and Gronkowski, each being the same year. I could see them each saying,
So
"We're
you
out of
think
here."
Gronk has 4 more seasons in the NFL? Maybe 5, whatever that is.
Possibly. This is, you got to think, this is the first time he's actually gone through an entire season healthy.
Exactly.
He's had major he's had he's had major surgeries each time that have taken him out for seasons, and they still won Super Bowls
Right.
without him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's not. Yeah, he's obviously a big player, and does a lot for the team. But I don't know. It's at what point he also talks about, he did an interview, it was a while ago now, but typical Gronk, he was just like, I don't want to end up scrambled like all these, scrambled in the head like all these retired like
Exactly.
players, and he's not wrong. You know what I mean? The dude's got a shitload of money banked. He's said multiple times that he hasn't even touched his salary from the
Yeah.
Patriots. He's living his best life off of sponsorship money and endorsements, and that's it. So he hasn't touched the millions of dollars that he's gotten from his actual salary. So I mean, I don't know. I could easily see him just being like, you know what? like I'm out and just riding off into the sunset. That'll be a 3-person carriage leaving leaving Patriot Place that day. But I don't know. Again, it's kind of all on Brady.
Yeah, I think uh, I I could see them. I could see Brady and Belichick going off together. I don't think Gronk is gonna make it that far. Uh, he's
You think he's done before
yeah.
4 years?
I don't. I find it
Like retired or
retired.
traded?
He like 31 is kind of like the death age for wide receivers, and with a tight end like him who's been beat up real bad, because like what Tony Gonzalez, made it to 30 something, 35. Uh, Jason Witten made it to like 37 or whatever, but those guys were built sound guys, and they were never really hurt.
Yeah.
And I mean Gronk, if
Yeah.
he's he's gonna he'll struggle in life later, I think, with
Yeah.
sore knees and sore backs, and
Yeah. No, he's had everything under the sun happen to him. So it was ironic because I thought about it the other day. This was the first year with my company that I haven't had a surgery, and I was like, oh shit, Gronkowski. This is the first year that he hasn't had a major surgery that's kept him out of at least half the season. And that's the thing is you only play, a dozen or so games. Obviously more than a dozen, but those games are crucial. So if you're out 6 to 8 weeks, okay, well, that's half the season, if
Right.
not more. So depending on your injury, or a lot of those guys, they're I don't know, they're getting rocked and they're out for the entire season. All right, well, if you're someone like Gronk that's out, gets hurt the second game of every season, is only playing 2 games a year, at what point are you the Patriots going, you know what, this isn't worth our investment into into a player like that. We like you as a guy, and you're you get Boston all fired up and everything, but what are you doing for us? Where's our return on our investment? Because it's not a cheap investment. They're not taking them out to lunch. They're forking over cash for him. So I don't know. I agree with you. I could see him. I was going to disagree. You were going to say that he was going to be longer. His body's definitely not going to last more than 4 years. But I mean, honestly, I think he's one injury away from calling it a substantial injury, like he has had. I think he's one away. If he gets one next season, early next season, or God forbid it happens in the Super Bowl this weekend, that could be possibly a career ender. He's just had too many things. It's all fun and games until you're in the wheelchair. The rest of your retired NFL career.
I just want to quickly confirm that you try to make a quick comparison of you and Robert Gronkowski
and Gronk.
with your careers and injuries.
Well, we're both athletes. Correct. Yep. Well, we're both 5-star athletes. So we could start there. We both make around the same amount of money. So also, just doing that comparison. And that's really as far as
so you're basically like the same person.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little taller than me and a little wider, but I mean, we're pretty. I think I'm more tan than he is too.
Yeah.
So I got that going for me.
Yeah,
if I don't blend into this sweatshirt enough.
Yeah, quick shout out to our girl Sarah.
Yep.
I can never say it.
Sarah Dickadovs. I think it's Doves. I'm not sure about the ending.
I don't know, but this is her sweater, and we didn't plan to wear this, did we? Okay.
No, I'm at Aaron's place. This is the only sweatshirt I have. So, this is all I got.
Is she mad at you right now because you're taking up the streaming station?
Probably. Although I only stream once a week now, so um, it's my night, and then she can have it any other night. Although I don't want to skip ahead because I know we're going to talk about it later on, but I think there may be a stream in the making on Saturday between the two of us for the Fortnite
Oh,
event.
plug
So
plug plug your Twitter real quick.
Plug my Twitter. So if you type in my chat or if John's command, I would expect him to. I don't have a command for his, so I do apologize. But Twitter is the same exact as my Twitch. It's Kamikaze Kelly. Kamikaze spelled incorrectly with an I, and then Kelly. So that's KAMIKAZIKELLY.
So we.
And if you don't know that you have a Twitch Prime,
I hate you. So I looking. We didn't actually like. What do you got for a score for this game? We can move on. But what do you think? What do you got for a score for this game?
You know what? I see it being. I see it kind of being a high-scoring game. I don't know.
Whoa! You just got like
Jeez.
a sub bomb.
Sub bomb from the ground floor.
Twitch Prime?
Twitch Prime? Have you heard of it? If you haven't, you should hear about it. I see it being a high score game. I don't want to throw out numbers, but I think it's going to be high 20s. Again, though, I think it's probably going to be within a touchdown. So it could very well be a 21-28 game. It could be within a field goal. I'm not even 100% sure with that. So, but Aaron, thank you very much for the gift of the subs.
I'm gonna.
Thank you. Huh?
I'm gonna go with 34-31 the Patriots. I think it ends with Goff with the ball in his hands, and I don't think they get close to field goal range.
Really? So you think they're gonna late charge it? And then...
Oh, Queen
Jesus.
with another sub bomb. Oh my gosh!
Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime. If you haven't heard of it, you should.
Wait,
hear
I have a
about
question.
it.
Can you hear Goku yelling right now?
Is she watching? Can you hear him?
No. Chad, can you hear it?
Oh, me? I can't now. Oh, you're talking about for background noise? Nope.
Okay,
You're all
so I
set.
think that's good then. Because I think my
Yeah.
well, actually,
That's good. As long as they can hear it. Like your stream.
yeah, I guess I don't. Moving forward on the podcast, like I don't think we want that, do we? We can talk about it.
I guess you could. I mean, it's up
Because
to
like
you.
right now, like
I'm talking.
Goku's screaming like 5 times in a row.
Oh,
yeah.
True. Aaron ruined the podcast.
No. Can I get a feels Chad man in the chat?
Chad band.
So yeah.
Laugh at Queen, but feels Chad man. Money. What's going on, dude?
So yeah, I got 34-31 Pats. Goff with the ball with his hand. He doesn't get it done. Doesn't even get the field goal up.
Okay.
And they win, and it's
I'm
the
fine
worst.
with that because that also results in OJ getting just under $3,000 from what I've been told in my chat. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but he talked about it, so I think that means we
gonna
can
buy
talk
Daddy
about
some
it.
new shoes.
I'm hoping, as a fellow Patriots fan and future teammate, selfless plug, that he at least buys me dinner, But
yeah.
I'm not gonna hold it.
Maybe I'll
against
fly
him.
you out there for dinner.
that'd be that'd be such a power move. Think about that. Hey, you want to grab a bite to eat? Dude, we're states away. Don't even worry about it, my friend. I'm sending the jet now. That would be the power move. But yeah. What is have you now what's your favorite team? You're in Minnesota.
Yep,
It's
I'm
the
a Vikings
Vikings.
guy.
Do you go to games every year?
No. I if I have the chance, I definitely take it. I guess I don't actively buy tickets. Uh it's
Yeah.
either kind of like a last minute thing, or like someone got tickets and they're selling them for cheap, or
Yeah.
it's like some like a birthday party or something. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, some sort of special occasion or special
Yeah.
event type of thing. Because I don't know how expensive everything in Boston's expensive. Like I'm a hockey guy, but uh, tickets to TD Garden are just crazy expensive. You have to StubHub it and literally wait until, like, for hockey, I used to wait until the puck
Yeah.
drops, and you can buy tickets up to 15 minutes after the start of the
Right.
event time. So I wait until the puck drops, or at least it says it drops at like 7:30, even though the puck doesn't drop till like 7:40, and then the tickets drop like $20-$30, and then I'll buy it and then walk in, because the prices will still, and I'll still pay $150 for a ticket because they're just way overpriced. So I'm definitely with you on that. I definitely don't split as much as I'd like to go to games. Not just hockey, football, everything. It just, I don't know. Certain areas are a lot more
Yeah,
expensive.
the Wild have been I think they're still on a sellout record, like for however many seasons or something stupid. But the tickets, like, there's not a bad seat in the house. Uh, it has
Yeah.
really, like,
Mm-hmm.
every seat, like, you're on top of the ice, and it's really nice. But yeah, those upper
Yeah.
levels, like the kind of the not so hot ticket, those are still like
Yeah.
125 something in the, but like obviously you
Yeah.
get any closer and you're starting to talk like $200-$300 and stuff, and it's like, oh man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think changed the name. Yeah. What's going on, Miola? And yes, she did change her name. She's doing a whole revamp. She'll be doing a plug a little later. Not here on the podcast, but she's doing. Actually, John helped her with that. She's redoing, so in the new place, because you're here, new Twitch, new YouTube. She's going to be doing vlogging. She's going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to be different stuff with Queen. So you got live with Queen.
For the views. What?
Life of Queen and everything like that. She's doing it all for the views. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, she's very hyped about it. She brought the hype train. If you guys are interested in getting that hype train, it can be yours if you press that purple subscribe button. And
is that 2 plugs in less than the first hour?
Oh my friend, it's early. It's early. But well, no, those are different plugs. Here, one, the others are two. So that doesn't count.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I forgot you can see my
face. Yeah. Oops. Shameless plug. This weekend, 12-hour stream. I don't know who is. You are or I am? I don't think I am. That sounds like something I could maybe fall asleep on camera for. But I'm not prepared for that one. Although we got the event coming up, so maybe. Who knows? But, well, speaking of football, hockey, and stuff like that you watch on, well, I guess mainly TV, unless you travel all over the place and go visit. Like, I know Miola, the guy in my chat, him and his dad hit a bunch of baseball stadiums throughout the summer. They just go like on a tour. So I mean, this year, I think he's hit all of them.
Dang.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Yola. And that might be major league and minor league.
Both?
So I'm not 100% sure. Um, he'll have to back me up on that.
Dang.
But he's a big baseball guy. Um, baseball, to me, it's a little slow. It's definitely for me an environment thing now. Like if I'm there, and I got a $14 hot dog in my hand and an $18 beer. Like yeah, I'll enjoy it. So yeah, he's been to all major league.
Dang.
So it's not all minor league and stuff like that. But so baseball and a lot of the sports to me are definitely like if it's in person, it's a ton better. It's more engaging. You're actually there. You can feel the environment, and stuff like that. But what other in your opinion, what sports do you watch, and what sports in your opinion better to watch on TV in person?
Yeah,
That sort of thing. Once you figure out if you're
I was
done
gonna say Thor's having like a
watch.
seizure. No, he's been having nightmares lately. He's been.
It's because it's so damn cold in Minnesota. He's just his body's going into.
Yeah, he loves it outside. Playing around in the minus 48 wind chill. He loves
Yeah,
it.
can't say I say the same.
But so growing up, I played baseball and football and a little bit of basketball, and I I love baseball because I love the uh, little things about it, like the little things that I notice, or like baseball habit kind of stuff. I do enjoy going to a baseball game. However, we the Twins have I hate saying we because I've been like the last like handful of years just disowning them and like moving on to a new team. Like I'm anyway, we don't win anymore, so it's not like the atmosphere has just been garbage for years, and so but we
Yeah,
built this brand new beautiful stadium and it's amazing, but like now it's just like it's more about going to the game like with your friends like rather than watching the product on the field. So
yeah,
I would football games are fun, and but I am a big fantasy football player, and besides the Vikings,
mm-hmm.
like I put fantasy football like right underneath it. But I sometimes
Yep,
I'm paying so much money to be at the game. I don't want to be looking at my phone because I'm so worried about fantasy. But I love fantasy
yeah,
football. So getting to my answer, in person my favorite is to watch hockey. I don't
there you go.
understand hockey. I don't get it. I don't. I don't get the strategies. I cannot pronounce the players' names. Um, it doesn't matter like how.
That's the number one account.
It doesn't matter like.
They're all Russian.
It doesn't matter like how many times I hear them. I just can't. Like but I love playing NHL. 17 or whatever year I got, and I know like what players are on the team, and I know how it's spelled, but I can't say it. So, but
Yeah,
to that point though, like being at a game, and maybe this is just being in Minnesota because again, different places have different atmospheres, but I'm sure it's very
mm-hmm.
similar there. Like people have such a high knowledge of hockey that like the energy that the team has is like reflected of what the fans are. Like because
Oh
they
yeah,
just know everyone grew up on skates except me, and everyone knows hockey,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they sell it out every day.
You're in the
We're the
heart of it
state of
there.
hockey, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
yep,
it just makes the environment so much better, even when they're not good. They've been better the
mm-hmm.
last handful of years, but before that they were not very good. Even when they're bad,
Yeah,
it's still a very vibrant environment. So I for that I'd say
yeah,
hockey.
yeah. No, I'm a little biased with it just because I've played for. Do some quick math in my head. I've played for 23 years, 24. What am I? 27 now. I started when I was 3, so that's 24 years. So uh, I've played for that, and I started um, watching. You know, my parents used to bring me to a local team, and I'm a Red Wings fan. Um, I live in New York, so everybody always says, "Why aren't you a Rangers, Islanders, Sabres?" You know, we have 3
Right.
different teams, and I don't like any of them. Not that I don't like any. The Red Wings farm team played 15 minutes away from the house,
Mm.
so I started going up with my parents and started doing that.
Pika
And
pika!
then obviously that got out of control and resulted in a 24-year, spin. Um, but for me, it's the same. I guess it would be for me is the same as you in baseball. Like I like going because I know those strategies. I know the little things that they do. You know, oh, why, if Aaron was to go with me, it'd be like, why did he do that, or why did he, I'd be able to, I know why they do all those things, kind of thing. Obviously they do it slightly better than me, um, but for me, I know all the tech, so um, I would say it's definitely the same with me is going to a hockey event. I will say, actually, strangely enough, and you don't have anything up there for it, but I've been to NASCAR
Oh.
and people watching aside, um, that's actually something I would strongly advise going to at least once. Only because, so I'm a car guy too, um, but listening to 43 cars come around and come at you and drive by you with 800 horsepower engines. It's literally like each time the zoo, 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 it's literally like someone is just hitting you straight in the chest every single time. Like you can feel the motors. It's a really weird, cool feeling. So I don't know. That's my weird one that I would recommend that you do at least once. Find a good track,
so
um, and go to really get up to
so
speed. But yeah.
I don't hate a lot of things on this earth, but I
Uh-oh.
hate NASCAR.
You know why then? Because it's like that branded hit
No,
thing to
so
do.
so I was gonna say, I didn't attend a NASCAR event, but I excuse me, I worked at one. It was the Phoenix International,
Yeah,
yeah,
International
PIR, yeah,
Speedway
yeah.
there.
I worked it, so I
Yeah,
got the whole like crowd thing. I that
that's the hardest
that's
part to
the
get
thing.
over.
That's a thing,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a very big thing.
and but like I didn't like go and actually watch the cars, go around or whatever. But I cannot
Yeah.
like I can't.
So the only thing I'll speak on that is that probably in the top 3 worst tracks to go watch a race at. The reason I say that, and I grew up, so my mom, both of my parents are, well, my grandfather used to have season tickets to the Daytona 500, and they had a timeshare down there. So every
Yeah.
February, my parents would pull me out of school in grade school when we were, super young and school didn't matter. Stay in school, by the way. But they'd pull us out and we'd go down, you know, race week and everything like that, do all the events. So we followed NASCAR relatively close, like growing up, only because, they were involved in it, had tickets. So we've been to a couple tracks and we found out, and I know this from over the years now, but the flatter the track, obviously the speeds don't get up that high,
Obviously.
and the less action there
Uh,
is.
obviously.
Because so you get like Daytona. Well, you get like Daytona where the bank, 42
Sure.
degrees. So you don't have to let off the whole track. You're doing 200 miles an hour floor, pedal to the floorboard. You don't have to let up in the turns at all. Whereas Phoenix is flat, you don't have the banking to kind of hold you, so you can't really go that fast. So there's no like accidents. There's not a lot of action with it. So that sucks. I would say go to, if anybody's listening and is interested, don't go to go to, like I said, Daytona. Charlotte is an excellent track. Talladega, the big, fast super speedways would be the ones that I would go to.
And thanks, so, King. How do you say it? Mayola.
King
Bola. Thank you for the follow. We are live with Kamikaze Kelly. We are trying a new podcast. We are right now we're talking about favorite sports to watch on TV and or in person. And we was talking about NASCAR. I would put that last on TV. I would rather watch any other sport, any other sport than that for 3 hours. That is too painful. But for my favorite, I do love watching the Vikings. Watching the Vikings is so much fun. But I love like, if I had to pick like a time period, like the NBA finals. And
okay. NBA over March Madness?
Yes. I do love like the whole I
was gonna say you gotta be
I'm a bracket. Yeah, I'm a bracket guy.
Fantasy football.
Right. And we should talk about that. I have
document right now.
And I have so many like fun games I play with brackets. But anyway, I do love March Madness and I do love college basketball, but I'm kind of like over the I just don't like Duke, and I'm over Michigan State, and there's just like so much cheating in college basketball that like keeps getting uncovered. I just become like more disgusted.
Cheating in the sense
well,
of
like
what?
So like the recruiting violations or the paying players, or it's all like, because what was it, 4 months ago, a top level exec at Adidas got arrested for sending the North Carolina $300,000 for a recruit. I think that's their their shoe's Jordan. Anyway, they sent it to a school basically to give to a player. And it's like, okay, so some like exec at Adidas did that. Like, I wonder if any other shoe brand in the whole country does that too. Or
nope. Probably just Adidas.
or like that Zion, again, I don't like Duke, but Zion Williamson like supposedly told Kansas, like, give me $100K and a place for my family to live and I'll play here. And then he says no. So then he goes and chooses what his favorite team was, and going home. I think he's from North Carolina. And going home. But it's like, what if Duke just said that they would give him that? Like, what, other teams said they wouldn't, but what if Duke's like, yeah, we'll do that? You think he would go there for quote unquote his full ride? Yeah, right. And so,
no, well, Duke has a clean record, top to bottom. They wouldn't do anything like that.
Stop.
So,
but
to your point, I think you meant not about, but I forget what we were talking about. But all the stuff and all the bullshit that goes on, we're only hearing about the stuff that gets caught. Can you imagine? Like, I've heard from one of my dad's friends' sons played college here, and now they play professional over in Europe. And he said all growing up, he said we used to just have boxes on the front door from Nike, from this, from that, just sending them shoes and all
Yeah.
the other stuff. And you get to think like, okay, well, how much of that is a gift, a bribe, that way. Hey, when you make it big, you make sure you have those Jordans on when the camera's
Right.
on you and stuff like that. We'll give them to you, but I don't know. I feel unfortunately it's with every sport though. It's not definitely not just basketball, but college it's obviously a spotlight because everybody's still playing the innocent kid card with it. If LeBron was getting $100,000 to relocate his, everybody would be like, well, who cares? It's LeBron. He's a professional player. That's exactly what. But now you have a quote unquote 20-year-old kid that's doing it. Now it's it's an
Right.
issue.
We should
So
also because I could go on an hour plus long rant regarding the college basketball and all it is that is a sham. Um,
yeah,
but I was gonna say you mentioned LeBron, but I do love watching the NBA finals. I
mm-hmm.
I again, like the whole season, they don't play defense and all that, but it's like in the last handful of years, like you want to see the best player or the best players, at the
Yep.
end, and at
Mm-hmm.
their best and against the best. And I mean, just like the Warriors and any team LeBron's on, basically, like going to the finals every year.
The
It's so fun to
yeah,
watch, and like and I
whatever team he decides to go with
yeah,
that year.
and don't trade everyone away. Uh, you
Yeah.
know, I love watching that and the atmosphere, and the the whole stadium gets into it. Uh, and I think it's with the Super Bowl coming up, it's also they're on teams' home courts. They're not at this neutral site. So,
Yep.
you get the atmosphere and everything, like you do with baseball and hockey, but the
Football's the only sport that
yeah,
does that, right?
yeah.
That does it in a neutral field, which I think,
College football too, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a disadvantage. Why not have it at now? Again, I don't. Is it a coin flip? And you have to plan the Super Bowl way in advance. I mean, you can't just. I mean, I guess you could.
oh yeah,
it's just like
I
every
didn't
other
even think of the
game.
logistics
But
of
you got to
that
think of
though.
all the events that they plan around the whole week and everything like that. Like they can't throw that together in two
Yeah,
weeks.
and I don't think they'd want to
So
like take a month off and really let things settle. They would
no.
have to. Yeah, so I mean, maybe
Yeah.
that's definitely. I didn't even think of the logistics of that, but it's
Can I be honest? I just thought that.
genius.
So made me look good, but that's an on the
Yeah,
spot.
if it was more feasible, it's like, well, do you do a coin toss, or is it division record, or is it points for whatever, and that doesn't make sense. But like
Yep.
in the commercials and the performance and all this that and their storylines, and then NFL dominates everything. Like, I don't know, I enjoy watching the best of however many teams playing, the two best teams supposedly, playing the best out of seven. And
Yep.
teams are allowed to have a bad day. It's not great if they do, but they can have an off night and then rally
Yep.
back. And I feel like there's I like the comeback stories, or whatever stories come out of the
Yep.
final, more than a Super Bowl story.
Yeah. I I've come to appreciate, like I said, growing up watching seven, best of seven, best of seven. Same with any other sport, literally again, except for football. Um, but it really, and I always used to get in the arguments with, well, football is so much tougher, and my argument, sure, I then again, I'd be able to. play like one game a week. Like that'd be a nice schedule. Instead, I have to play 3 or 4 games in that time frame or whatever. But that, like, toughness is, it's not a toughness argument or anything, but that one game that you're playing on Sunday is the difference of you making the playoffs, is the difference of you, getting a first seed, or, in this weekend's sense, this one game is the difference of you winning the Super Bowl, maybe the champions or not. So it's not a best, you only get one shot. So it kind of forces you to be on 100% of the time, where, like you said, all the other sports, you can have an off day and you're not playing well, and, team, hey, you got 6 more games to play. So, I don't know. But football, I kind of appreciate, or can look and appreciate the fact that every game, because of it's not of that, it's do or die every single time. Right. So I don't know. I can see both sides, but I don't know. Speaking of do or die, I know you mentioned it. And speaking of sports and seeing in person and stuff like that, I have to talk. And I know it's not the following weekend, but I know we briefly mentioned not on stream, off stream, but Anderson Silva. I'm super psyched. For those of you who don't,
what's the fight?
Know. So UFC 234. It's happening in Melbourne, Australia, on February 9th. So, thank you, Aaron. Glad you could make it. Big dumb. Glad you could be here. Yeah.
Ooh.
But it's
DC over Jones.
Mole throwing shade. DC over Jones. Can we get a mod to kick him, please? Oh, he is a mod, I think. So can you kick yourself?
Agreed, Aaron.
So he that's a deep rabbit hole. We don't have time to go down a Marvel DC rabbit hole right now. I have to work tomorrow.
I'd be so stressed, and my already receding hairline would just be destroyed.
I might have to bring a special guest, aka Erin, on for that one. She is a lot more well versed in the DC and Marvel universes than I am. But Mola actually knows. So there's been a couple fights where he's actually he's come up, and I've got a couple friends that I invite over to the house, and we actually put a projector in the window of one of the windows of the house, and we project the screen onto the neighbor's house. So we're watching the fight outside.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
But I've never been to a UFC fight, but I feel like, one, there's always action. I've watched maybe 2 or 3 fights that I've been like, wow, they really just kind of like danced around each other and didn't do anything. I find that more in boxing that they do that. It's just like short, they're clinched and short little jabs or something like that. That's more so the case. UFC, I think, is because you have all those tools to use, hands, feet, clinches. You can use Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all the other stuff. It's a lot more variables. But again, the guy I'm looking for, he hasn't fought in a while. He's up there in age, man. I think he's 42. He might be 43. But Anderson the Spider Silva is known for nasty jiu-jitsu. He'll do things to you before you can think of what he's trying to do.
When's the last time he fought? It's not when he broke his leg, right? He came back after that.
No. Yeah, he came back. He fought at UFC 200, I know for a fact, against Daniel Cormier when John Jones first tested
Okay.
positive. Um, I know
What
that
UFC number are we at?
234 is
Okay, so
next
maybe
for him.
like
So we're
maybe like
34.
a couple years
But
ago.
it's not necessarily. That was, let me see, UFC 200 was July 9th,
Oh
2016.
yes, 3 years. Yep, 2.5 years ago.
Yep, and I was right. Yeah, Daniel Cormier, Anderson Silva, and Daniel Cormier
Okay.
won in a decision fight. So it was a lot. It was literally a 20 of you failed the test. Somebody needs to step in. Anderson Silva was like, you know what, screw it. Like I'm here. So he did that, which is awesome for him to do that and kind of save the card. Only because John Jones is such a in the sport. So it kind of had to be someone relevant to take his
Right.
spot in it. So it's nice that he did that, but yeah, no, I don't know. I'm excited. That's actually the co-main event. Robert Whitaker and Kevin Gastelum
I
is
was
the
gonna
main
say
event.
I didn't think that was the main card, right?
It's the main card. But, breaking news: Ben Affleck will not be in the next
That's old
Batman
news.
movie.
That came out at like 6 o'clock. So
Stay in your lane.
Co-
Feels bad in the chat. It feels
Can
Chad
we
man in the chat for Queen laying some late
breaking
news.
news is within a minute. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, breaking news I think has a 5-minute interval. I believe
It's a 5-lane highway.
5-minute highway. That's my line.
I wonder how
But
fast
yeah,
I'm seeing that. I'm sure it's as it's coming in.
What?
As fast as I'm seeing her chat.
Yeah, it is because I'm comparing it, and it's pretty. Yeah, you're replying to it.
We're
Just
getting
as
good
fast,
at this. It's only our first time.
like yours.
Ah. Hey.
So that was it. It's pretty quick. So, but yeah. So yeah, he's not the main card. He is fighting, but he's fighting Israel Adesanya.
Oh, I went to different high schools with him. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Different ones together at the same time.
Oh, word.
Kidding.
Word. Yeah. Same. So like same,
right.
but different.
Right. Similar but different.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's 15-0. I'll be honest, I don't know much about it, but I don't know. I always get weary when guys with undefeated records.
Is he? Do you know his style?
Israel. He is.
Also, let me know if Thor chewing that bone's really loud.
No. I mean,
it looks like he's chewing. It looks like he's chewing on my hand on the camera.
His nickname is the Style Bender.
Oh.
Israel the Style Bender Adesanya.
Same.
I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. But yeah, former kickboxer.
What was that second part?
He's a kickboxer and boxer. So he's got earth.
I gotta go Anderson Silva. I don't know anything about this guy, but the only guy I bet on in UFC, I shouldn't say like right now, but if I don't know anything about him, I always bet on a wrestler. Wrestlers, yeah, because I used to be a wrestler and PD. No, I wasn't very good, and I only did it 1 year, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life. But you never doubt about a wrestler. They know how to win, and they're gonna do whatever it takes, and and they're all they're very technical people. You know, they
Yeah.
obviously they don't win every time, but I don't know. I love a good wrestler.
Well, he just the thing that gets me is he's like I wish, and I might be able to do it. You know what? I am
What are you
gonna
gonna
try
do?
it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna minimize. I'm gonna minimize the. I'm gonna do search.
Are you pulling up the video?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull up the video.
So while Chad's pulling up the video, for those who joining in,
Oh, no.
my name is John, Wolf Labs. I'm chatting live with Kamikaze Kelly, or Chad. We are trying our first ever podcast, and we kind of we've talked about it before, and we set it up kind of very last minute, as in like last night. But yeah, so we're working through some technical difficulties, but and trying new things and trying different things. So bear with us as we are doing this live on Twitch. Both our usernames are on Twitch, and at Wolf Labs and at Kamikaze Kelly, all with K's. And so yeah, it's something new, and we're excited, and hopefully maybe get on a week at a time, maybe a little bit longer. It depends on kind of like what's going on, and content, and all that fun stuff. Yeah, so we're looking to do, again, maybe an hour 5, hour 2, or hour 2, that I don't know what that means, but kind of just see how it goes. And maybe we make them shorter, maybe we make them longer, who knows. We're just kind of all figuring this out as it's the first time, and hopefully do many more.
All right, so
you found the video?
I found the video, and I think it's actually working. Did I really just type that in chat? Yeah, you know what I did, because I had my lap in front of the keyboard, so I thought I was typing on the screen, but it was actually typing on my keyboard. Oh no. Oh no. We're gonna mute that though. So it doesn't know. She's a doll. She really is. So this is why he's so dangerous. To give. Hopefully it shows.
I was gonna try to text you, and I was like, I don't think I got the video thing figured out, though I did get it figured out, I think. But then with your update of how you're doing it, and it's way more genius, I didn't have my video thing ready, and I was gonna like quick text and be like, let's not try to talk about anything about a video because I don't think it's right.
So, well, I'll give the shout out to Erin on this, because she was like, all right, well, why don't you just it? And I don't know if you're watching my screen, but she was like, why don't you just thank you. She was like, why don't you make it, and then just a smaller thing, like you don't have to make it the whole camera with like just your face in it, because then you're not going to have his face and stuff. So she actually made a good point. But to give some background with this video, is Anderson Silva is getting his ass beat for the entire fight. This looks like it's just the highlights. Chael Sonnen's an Olympic wrestler, or not an Olympic wrestler, but he's got a wrestling background, and it's just mauling.
Wait, hold on. He's fighting Chael Sanderson? Wait,
what's that?
What's the name of the guy?
No, Anderson Silva is fighting Chael.
Chael. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry about that.
Chael Sonnen is the original shit talker, way before Conor McGregor was even like a thing. So this is the end of the fight, because it's at round 5. He's getting his ass beat, and he slips his arm through and gets him in an arm triangle. And he tries to squat in front to try to invert and put his legs to try to extend, and he just taps him out and chokes him out from the bottom, which is bananas. That's
Right.
not. You
It's tough
just
to do.
you don't. Yeah, you don't do
Hey,
that.
you don't
But
do
that's
that.
the whole. You don't do that. But it's so unpredictable. You know what I mean? So that's why, to your point, he's got the jiu-jitsu background, and he's so unpredictable that you really can't. I can't count him out by
Right.
any means. So was a huge underdog. I believe that, man. I'm looking at the tail of the tape. He's 43. The other guy's 27. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage on Anderson Silva. I mean, he's younger. He's undefeated. I mean, he smells blood in the water. They gave him Anderson Silva as a big opponent for him to prove himself. So I don't know. It's up to Anderson Silva to kind of shut him up and be like, no, you're not just going to give me the layup. You know, the young guys to beat the piss out of me to see. I'm going to make it. So, but we'll see. February 9th. I'm going to have to double check the time on it because it's in Melbourne, like I said, Australia. So I don't know what the time difference is going to be. But Jay and Lurk, sadly can't stay though. Hope y'all enjoy it though. Jay, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Love you, brother. One of these times, like I said, we're gonna go to Ripe Tomato. I'm gonna get you breakfast.
You know, so I didn't see that chat. I wonder where it went.
What chat? Am I? Yeah, I didn't see that one either. I might have my overlay late. I don't have the chat overlay when I'm doing the search bar.
Oh.
I don't have the chat overlays. I figured it would be much going on with the screens. I can add them. It's a super easy add, but yeah, I figured.
So how is it gonna end? How is Anderson gonna win?
I don't know. So it's not a championship fight. Instead of 5-minute rounds, I don't know, man. It's a tough. Like you said, I haven't seen Anderson. He hasn't fought in so long. I don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in. I'd love to think that he's in peak condition, but just like football, mixed martial arts is not a sport built for longevity. Right. That is for damn sure. You know, 43 is almost unheard of in the UFC or any sort of mixed martial arts. You know, longevity wise, I want him to win. I want him to win by some sort of submission. He could win by. I would picture it actually being very similar to. What is it?
Sorry. Shout out to Marissa.
I'm rocking the Mickey Mouse with the hot chocolate, small marshmallows. But what? Damn, what?
That's my bad.
Up, John. What did I do?
That's my bad. Something about Anderson Silva.
What did you do?
Being old. NFL.
Oh no. No, I was talking about. No, shout out to your significant. I knew that was coming.
Feels Chadman. Feels Chadman.
Making this happen. only giving me this beautiful mug to drink out of, but for letting me use her dream setup, for being there and supporting my hopes and dreams. As for the fight, I see it going actually very. I think the guy. It's one of his first fights in the UFC. This is by far the biggest stage he's been on, biggest competitor he's fought, and everything like that. I think he's going to not underestimate Anderson Silva, but I think I've seen it a bunch actually recently. There was a fight this past weekend where young guy comes in to try to overthrow the old dog that's been there maybe a little too long, but he like rocked him and then just came steaming after him, trying to finish him. And the old guy caught him, and just like you can't be too hungry and then forget to keep your hands up or things.
Right.
So um, I see Anderson Silva by submission. I'm gonna say Anderson Silva by submission in the third round. I think they're gonna go to the last. Um, but that's my prediction.
Okay.
That's what I hope. Anyways, I can hope all I want, but I don't know. Kami Wolfie Queen, Kami Wolfie Queen Titty Trio. I don't know if that really rolls off the tongue. Is that like a podcast name suggestion? Kami Wolfie Queen or Kami Wolfie Queen Titty Trio.
The jib jab, jib that's not bad.
Oh,
it's just hard to say.
Jib and jab with John
It's just hard to say.
Jib and jab with John and Chad. Yeah, if I knew for a fact that I wouldn't every single time I said what it. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that one. If I knew I wasn't gonna mess, then I'd consider it.
It's not easy. So what do you say that wraps sports? Do you say that wraps sports?
Do I say
yeah? We're done talking about sports.
Yeah, I'm cool with that being.
I mean, I don't have anything to say about this UFC fight.
Yeah, UFC. Did you see the suspensions?
I saw Kibish. Is that his name? Kibish. Yeah, that one.
Khabib?
And then I saw
the Russian. I watched out saying his name. He's gonna find you.
I'm not worried. What you mean? He beats me up and then he goes to jail. That's fine. I saw him and then McGregor, and then they're like not gonna fight in Vegas anymore, and
that's bullshit.
So I was gonna ask you earlier. So you talked about like you wanted to go to a fight or whatever. Does Madison Square Garden ever have UFC fights?
They do actually. So they just had a fight. Who McGregor might fight next is the guy's name is Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and this dude is this good old country boy, but he's got the most wins in history.
Really?
He fights at both middleweight and lightweight, middleweight and lightweight, welterweight and lightweight. He fights at 170 and 1. So he's got the most. He's been fighting forever, but his name is Donald Cow, and he literally shows up to fight week. Everybody else is cutting weight and everything like that. He's out on his boat tubing, pounding Budweiser, like it's almost comical. And then he shows up and just demolishes people. He always shows up to bang, to throw fists. But he's a non-give a shit kind of, so like you get somebody like this the fight last weekend where he fought, the kid is trying to prove himself in the UFC, so they gave him a boy who was like a number 8 guy in the weight class, and this kid is everybody's trying, he's trying to shit talk him, and Cowboy's just like, yeah, man, like, say what you need to say. Like, I'll see you Saturday. I don't know what to. You can talk all you want, but we're gonna get locked in that octagon. It's gonna be the end of it. So, and then he just beat the piss out of him, and that's the only thing he could say in the winning in the interview. All these guys want to be McGregor, and, until they say something and then it's over with, and then they're unconscious on the mat.
Sure.
So he might be McGregor's next fight. He just fought though. So Donald, where I was going with that, Cowboy just fought at Barclays Center.
Oh, okay.
Brooklyn. So there are big fights. However, and the reason I said Khabib saying he's not fighting in Vegas anymore, all the money in the big money fights are all
Sure.
in Vegas. So ultimately, like if I it would be Anderson Silva. Unfortunately, I think or he's just seeing it cycle through. If McGregor and Floyd decide to fight, it would be dope to see them live in Vegas.
Right.
That would be like top tier, I think. Color, black and white print. What are you guys talking about? What are tickets? Usually on a piece of.
I think he was asking like how much.
Yeah, so tickets for what fight? There's no. So, um, there's rumors that so like in the post fight interview, Cowboy was saying like I would like 5 guy and Connor's number 2. Um, they're 2 huge names. I mean, everybody loves Cowboy because of his just non give a shit. Like, yeah, I'm just here to fight. Like, you know, and then I'm here to bang it out. Kind of mentality. And then obviously everybody's, dick riding McGregor for the same reason. Talks a bunch of shit and does his thing, or whatever. Ethan's here. Ethan follows UFC.
Does he?
I think a little bit.
Does
so
OJ follow UFC?
Does he?
Know.
I don't know. Is he in your chat? I know Ethan. Cause I've talked to Ethan about roughly. I don't know how deep his knowledge goes.
Maybe the next big.
OJ just went to bed.
A what?
OJ just went to bed.
Oh, went to bed.
Just what?
Went to bed.
Oh, went to bed.
I think.
My second favorite.
I think he does. I think he does. Maybe we could bring them on for another UFC chat.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Ethan said of what? Ethan, you follow, maybe not follow, but kind of follow
Subscribe.
UFC or no? Because I've definitely talked to you about fights before. I just can't remember how deep you're rooted. I'm pretty for a sport. You kind of have to pay to see a lot of the fights. They did just sign a contract with ESPN, actually. So if you have ESPN Plus, that was like a big move for them because otherwise all of them had been and pay-per-view through their own site. So
pay-per-view, big dumb.
Used to a lot more. So yeah, Ethan, you, he said. Not so much more, but yeah. But Ethan, we're talking about Cowboy Cerrone, who I'm sure you know if you used to watch. He's a pretty decent veteran. Cowboy possibly fighting McGregor as McGregor's next fight. Again, McGregor's calling the shots, so we'll see if he actually accepts it. I think he might, but so I don't know. We'll see. Jojo, man, I appreciate the lurk. Love you, buddy. But yeah, so that's my last spiel.
Yeah, maybe
That's now sports. Now sports.
Hey, Jaros, thank you for the lurk. Yeah, so we talked about the Super Bowl and the Patriots probably winning. Talked about sports and watching what we like to watch in person and what's better on TV, and then obviously just UFC. But I think we as we're developing this podcast, we're kind of thinking about things we wanted to talk about and things that would interest us and this, that, and the other. And we obviously, as we're streaming live on Twitch, are gamers, and we both play Fortnite. I don't know if you've heard of Fortnite, but it's a free game to play on any freaking device. And so, yeah, we will talk about gaming more, games we're excited about and, that kind of stuff. So I think we wanted to start off with the Fortnite event.
I'm, I'm excited because I like Marshmallow a lot. So I guess those that don't know is this Saturday, February 2nd. I don't know if there's a
I've heard
time.
2 p.m. Eastern time.
2 p.m. is usually when they are. But supposedly, not supposedly, I think it is. And actually, there was a leak earlier in the day. I don't know if
I
you
saw the leak. So is this real? Is it confirmed? I'm shocked they're not doing it on Sunday.
I don't think they want to compete with because they know people are going to be watching. It would be really cool to have a soccer stadium or not a soccer stadium, a football stadium put in, and then have the stage put up as if it's a halftime show. I think that should have been a play. But I'm not a creator.
So the only reason why I said I'm surprised they didn't do it on the Super Bowl because I believe it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Totino's, our favorite pizza rolls. Not an ad. Hashtag ad. They did a interactive stream with streamers and influencers where basically you in the chat would you would vote for this couch that was on a bull, like a riding bull, like those mechanical bulls. They put a couch on one of those, and you in the chat would tell it what to do. So it was like turn 180, buck, turn 360, buck. And it at that time 3 years ago or whatever, it was the most watched stream of all time. And it was the morning or like the afternoon of the Super Bowl. And it caught a lot of media attention because, like, again, this is 3 or however many years ago, and Twitch isn't that big, but it caught a lot of it was on Twitch, and it caught a lot of press, especially like in the advertising world, which I'm a part of. But it was the biggest stream, and so that's why when I heard it was on Saturday, I was like, Fortnite's been pretty smart about every single play so far, and Twitch, and I'm really surprised it's not at least on the day of the Super Bowl. Like, obviously, I wouldn't want to do it against the Super Bowl, but like, I don't know, what's everyone doing during the day?
Well, that's, I guess, the other thing is it's like, analytics wise, when you're a business putting out blips on Twitter, Instagram, you have those peak times of the day that people do look at those, so you want your stuff to go out on that side of the day. For example, when people are waking up to work as opposed to maybe around lunchtime break when people are getting off of work. So you got like a little bit before 9 o'clock, you got lunch breaks, you got after 5 o'clock. People are going to be home, but it's a Sunday. People are going to be home. You know what I mean? So I could see that being a thing. We do have a theory here that I'd like to read. I have a theory. What if they have the event, but the stadium is there until after the Super Bowl, kind of like when the snow fell and it completely stayed.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that could work.
So
that makes sense.
So is she saying that the and be a part of the thing now?
They'll add it to Pleasant Park or whatever, because that's where it's supposed to be.
A concert. It's going to be like a electric zoo.
Here's the thing. They used to have like a DJ booth and a stage. Like, why didn't they just like keep that? Because remember.
Sorry, I'm trying to read as well.
So you remember the like, it wasn't called the factory, but the little brick buildings like that were kitty corner to Flush. Remember,
Yeah.
there was a full, like, it was, it was always playing music.
yeah.
Like that, there was a DJ booth. So why
Yep.
didn't they keep that and then just have Marshmello perform there?
So my thing too is Ninja has been not complaining and not bitching, but kind of being like, Epic, what's your deal? I've brought so much attention to your brand, your game, and asking for like a skin. I don't know if he's ever asked for a skin, but people have been like, hey, where's the
Right.
skin? I think it's hilarious. Oh, sorry, it's way past my bedtime. That I think it's hilarious that they're not giving a skin, but an event to someone that Ninja won a Fortnite tournament
Right.
with. I think that's kind
Right.
of fun. It's kind of a slap in the face. It's on their part, but and again, not that Ninja would ever bad talk or wish anything less for for Mark and all his success and stuff like that. But I just thought it was funny how it all
Well,
came
like
together.
when the first leak I saw or whatever, it was just a pickaxe and something else, maybe a glider. I can't, but it wasn't the outfit or the skin. And what I thought they were gonna do, like when I first heard of it, was like, I thought Marshmello would like play in this event, at a certain time. Hey, buddy. And then like he would be a character, like kind of like Thanos was, but like you couldn't do anything to him, or like he'd be in this box that you couldn't touch. And
that raises the question again: is that could still be
right
a thing? Is he going to be performing on stage?
I mean, I think so.
Is he going to be because his skin is? You saw the leaked skin. It's his outfit.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's possible that it's just this character that's in the middle, like at the performing on the stage, and you can't do anything to him, and he just performs, and then for however long, and then he goes away.
I hope, and what really kind of ticks me, because some people aren't aware. Ooh, that light scared me. What kind of she saw Aaron pop up in mine,
right.
So she had to Aaron did the same on them. What kind of pisses me off about it though is because they disable all of the limited time modes, like the Team Rumble and stuff like that, creative mode, playground. They disable all of those during events. So now you're forced to go into games where people can kill you. And nothing is more frustrating than getting into a game, see an event, and then some asshole ruining it. Because they either A, don't know that an event's going on, and they happen to land Pleasant Park, and they're just like, holy crap, it's packed, everybody's here, and they don't know it, and they just kill people. Or if they just show up, don't care about the event, I'll here, and then just go and ruin everybody's experience. But I think it's kind of weird that they took out all those modes for them to not let people experience.
Right? Wasn't it? Isn't that when someone got the highest kills in a game because everyone like built a huge ramp up the side of the wall, and then like someone shot a rocket and killed like 84 people or something like that?
Yep. I remember that. I can't of it, but it was. I don't remember the total, but it was something. Something up.
So I thought I read though that again, like, it depends on who you read and who wrote the leak or whatever, that it was an LTM and it was going to be its own thing. And and also to your point, their respawns are enabled. Yeah,
Are
so
enabled.
it would be like
So
it'd be
I
like
haven't
the
heard.
Royal Rumble
I
or
haven't
whatever it's
heard
called.
that. So I haven't heard that, and that's the marshmallow like
Yeah.
event mode. Okay, so I haven't heard that. To Mel's point, because she typed in my chat that um, the event they disabled all the modes. It was still due to and then delays getting into another game afterwards. So that's the other thing is I died for the Iceman with when the ball dropped
Yeah.
over whatever the ice place is there.
The
Frosty
Heights or
whatever.
Peak or whatever.
And yeah, Frosty Peak
Polar
or
Peak.
Polar Peak, there it is. So the ball dropped there, but I landed. I tried to get. See, I didn't know how big the thing was going to be. Turns out, I could have seen it from anywhere, but the guy killed me. And then I quickly went back to the lobby and tried to join. And to Mel's point, it took like 20, 25 minutes for me to get into a game because the servers were so damn busy. So I'm
Right.
toast. Now I can't. Now I can't
Right.
race the event. I feel like on their side, they should do what you were talking about. If all that is true, and I hope it is, where it's a specific game mode where you can experience the event as opposed to, you know, getting screwed out of
Right.
not seeing it.
Yeah, I bet. Because again, on that same article, it was saying that you'll be able to hear the music from basically anywhere on the map, and then like obviously as you get closer to Pleasant Park, it gets louder. But I could see it though, like 15 minutes. If you obviously if you start at 5 or 2 o'clock, and then he performs quote unquote a 15-minute set.
Yeah. See, that would be cool. That makes sense because as an electronic, artist or whatever, they do that. Mel said, "Why would you have an event all that much for the backup for the server crashes during the events?" So they've always had this issue, and was it Marshmallow? And because Marshmallow and Ninja are related in this situation, I think you're going to see the same thing with any event streaming it. And well, actually, Ninja's in Atlanta, the Super Bowl. So I don't know if he's streaming from somewhere, but if he is streaming, he'll have another 300,000 people watching what he had for and he'll do that. The problem is, to Mel's point, she didn't even make it into a game and then got killed early. She couldn't even get into a game, which is that much more frustrating. And you would think for this event, you're going to have an influx of people. I just don't know why they wouldn't be fully prepared for that.
Right. Well, it's like they're drawing attention to a potential problem, and it is a problem because it's happened before. It's like, hey, everyone, try to get as many users on this thing as possible and see what happens.
And catch themselves with their and then finally everybody shows up that they promoted to, and it's like, oh, they didn't actually think all of you guys would show up. And it's like, okay, well, now you're screwed. Now you look like a dumbass. The game isn't functioning correctly, and nobody can experience the event. And you get a whole bunch of. I tell you what, it's all fun and games until Ninja gets in and gets killed early and can't get back into the game to event because the servers are all full and stuff like that. Then it's going to be a problem because now that the Pony Child isn't able to, there's 300,000 people watching. It'll be funny actually to watch the Twitch side on the followed channels and see everybody bounce around to the channels to see who's actually in the game and who's got the best view, kind of thing. But if it's a game, again, I hope it's a game mode that would make 100% sense. What you said is like a 15-minute, 30-minute game mode, hour long. I mean, sometimes they perform for an hour.
Most sets are for an hour.
Of just him doing it. Yeah. So if they did that, that would be
Yeah.
pretty cool. That I could see happening, and that would make sense because people can get into the game mode and actually, you know, witness it without missing the one
Yeah.
30-second bit.
I also find it interesting that they're doing another event on Sunday as well. That the Fortnite event is, well, supposedly the two teams versus each other. Apparently they have an NFL sponsorship of another sponsorship event coming up where it was going to be similar to like the food fight, where
Yep.
I'm sure they'll do helmets, but like a Patriot helmet and a Ram helmet, and then you gotta destroy it. I bet that's what they're gonna do.
I heard it was somebody, I think it was Dakota's that posted something. Maybe it was somebody. I swore they said that it was going to be team, which is just first to 100 with respawns and stuff like that. But each of the teams were, you wore the Rams jerseys. Those were the two teams. So I don't know if it's going to be a food fight thing. I heard it was more Team Rumble because then it's first to 100.
That's pretty cool.
And stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty neat. When I was playing before I got on here on my stream, I did get a unlock thing that had Super Bowl. I don't know what numbers or letters were on LIS.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. I got an unlock for that. So I don't know. I didn't do it because I think it was the last game that I was playing. After that, before I switched over to this, but I don't know if that's a thing you have to apply, or if it's going to apply it for you. I'm not 100% sure.
Or it could have its like own specific set of challenges or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. It worded it like I unlocked, but it could have been. Yeah, it could have been just letting me know. What's available, coming up. But,
so I was watching your stream a little bit before I got on. What did they do? What did they do with all the weapons? I'm so confused. I missed like one update.
So, they vaulted the bursts, like the scar bursts ones, like the FAMAS. I've heard it pronounced 8 different ways. They vaulted that. They unvaulted, or they vaulted bolt snipers. Did they vault those? I think they did. Vaulting the. She put boot snipers. It's bolt for sure. The boot snipers. They unvaulted silenced SMGs, which I'm very interested. See, I've only picked up a gray one, so I don't know if they unvaulted. I'm assuming they unvaulted all the. You can't just unvault a gun. But yeah, some interesting vaults and unvaults. See, the way they always, like for the snipers, for example, they had the semi-auto, then they had the bolt, then they had the heavy, then they had the heavy silenced, and then as you get too many, then you start to take away the beginning. So it kind of just is that progression type of thing. So they finally, I think, their cap on snipers, so they had to take away.
Well, and they had, and like most of the time they only have like 2 types of a gun, and they had 3 snipers for a while.
Yeah, they had. Well, they had the semi. Oh, no, was the semi still in the game? So the semi wasn't still in the game. I saw. Oh, there's a sniper. They had a sniper. Not too long ago. So that's why. That's why I So
Well,
yeah, they took that
I
out.
guess they
so
do.
yeah,
They still have a hunting rifle though. So they had 4.
still have a hunting rifle. True. If you want to count that as a sniper rifle, then
Oh, maybe that's not then.
So maybe they're classifying different.
Sniper with a
Um,
scope.
Which could be yeah, could be at that point. I prefer the hunting rifle only because the the scope actually has a crosshair. So you can easily, it's a lot easier to scope in or to no scope or hip fire it as opposed to I mean, if you're running with a bolt sniper or a heavy sniper, you pull the trigger, that thing's going anywhere on your,
Right.
like it's a shot in the dark.
Literally.
It's the straight up bird box challenge shot. So, but yeah, I don't know. I especially in like the hunting rifle, the modes and stuff like that. They're a lot easier to use, quicker reload on them. So I prefer those. But in like a battle, obviously they're not doing the damage heavy does, and stuff. But I don't know, some interesting volted and unvolted items, and it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season finishes up. And then as we head into what is it?
Yep.
8. Season 8, which is weird to think about, man. That so much time is.
Are we close to season 8? Like how many challenges week lefts do we have? Like 4? 5?
I think we're on. No, I think we're on week like 7 or 8. So only 2 or 3 more weeks.
I thought there were like 12 weeks. Or is there only 10?
I think there's 10.
I thought there was 12.
Anybody in chat able to confirm that?
Can we get an answer in the chat?
Yeah, we get.
Anyway, though, I'm nervous if there's only 3 weeks because I still don't have a win.
I don't have. So there's 10 weeks.
Balls.
I'm worried because I haven't done any challenges. I haven't focused on absolutely any. So I might have to do a good old fashioned, 20 days left.
No.
Okay, so
pressure's on.
Yeah, pressure's on. I'm not. You know what? I'm not too worried about it for like 3 days with it, and got. What did we do? She was at
tier 97. I barely played. Whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if that's because I'm definitely not 97, and I for. Yeah, I remember. So I remember at level 67, and I was like 71, something like that, and we grinded in 3 days, and each hit tier 100. So I mean, it's possible if you play the game just for just to get the challenges done. It's 100% possible, but you're not necessarily going for wins. So in your case, you might have to push that aside to get. Again, it depends on if you need the points for the challenge. I like getting tier 100 because that you pretty much get a free battle pass. If you get all of the 100, every so often you get 100 points.
And all the tier 100 suits have been pretty good too. I can't think of one that I didn't like, or since I've been playing it that I didn't love. So
yeah, I don't know, every in like way up to that I don't care for, but yeah, to your point, your 100 skins are usually pretty good. So I don't know. That's like I said. I'll probably sit down. find out a day and just grind out shit
Right.
and do the end. To be honest, I don't even know what I tier wise. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you at all.
So, what do you got for season 8? What do you think? What's the theme?
I don't know, man. That guy came out of the ice block, right? Or it was leaked. His skin was leaked out of the ice block. I don't know if he actually out of the ice block.
No, yeah, he did, and his is the 100 tier.
Okay. Why did it take so long to leak that?
Wow.
Or did it? Am I just not that knowledgeable? Can
we get a feels Chad in chat?
Yeah, can we? Yikes. Maybe. I don't know. There hasn't really been any. It's been continued with the and ice, and there haven't been really any clues.
Well, another hatch popped up. Everyone's got a hatch hype.
What hatch?
So,
oh, the
yeah,
eggs.
the eggs. Well, I think the eggs. I don't know. I think the eggs will still happen this season, but maybe next season's all about dragons or something.
Yeah, I forgot about the eggs because a while ago you could hear a heartbeat when you I think I was playing with you actually. And when you looked at them, you could feel your heartbeat. That could be, well, that could be something. I don't know. There's a couple different plays. I don't. Again, I haven't seen anything big though. Hint wise, that's been
right.
That's been there. Avatar vibes. That'd be cool if they were avatars. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know if anybody in the chat has heard anything different or seen anything different. Be either in my chat or John's chat or whatever. But if you guys know of anything,
do you think?
Let us know.
Do you think there will be any interesting partnerships in the next season?
You mean like the NFL, and like
NFL, Marvel.
Marvel's gonna be a tough one. Outside of because Thanos is Marvel, right? Marvel, I don't know. With those big companies, you to like, oh, they would ever do that, or the license cost way too much to do that, and blah blah blah, and the other. But
Aaron's saying that the season 8 of Fortnite is running the same as the season 8 of Game of Thrones. So that's the dragon play.
That it's running the same date?
I mean, it will be on around the same time.
They could. So my thing though is like, because who watches Marvel
in the world?
But
do you want to try again?
So specifically, yeah. Let me word that there. What's their target demographic?
Oh, I don't even know. Right now I don't know. I think
I would say it's us, and I mean that by like younger to mid-age, both male and female, but that are into, I would say, games and movies and stuff like that, and electronic-based stuff. So for them to partner with Fortnite, I think it's a huge move. Game of Thrones is stepping out of that slightly, not too much, that it would be far-fetched. I don't think. I think it could go together.
Yeah.
But I always try to look at the partnerships, and obviously if they make sense. I mean, you're not going to have, Domino's Pizza, do a, sponsorship in season 7 where I can't even think of a partnership thing that they would do where there's a delivery truck going around the map.
There are those ice cream trucks.
There are the ice cream trucks. Yeah, I know. I thought about that as soon as I said Dom, and I didn't want to bad, but I'm a DiGiorno. Shout out to
I thought you were gonna reach up and take a bite out of DiGiorno pizza.
Which reminds me,
gonna be like,
pull down a DiGiorno box. This stream is sponsored by DiGiorno
I was gonna
pizza.
be worried.
DiGiorno, it's not delivery.
I was gonna be worried that you just like had pocket pizza or something, or I know you're
like a pocket dog.
like I know you have a desk in front of you, but what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about I can't remember, but
Never watched Game of Thrones. I never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think after you mention the dragon eggs, I think it'll be dragon inspired. I don't see them doing a partnership with Game of Thrones. They're really difficult to work with and hard. They're really uppity about not uppity. They're protective of their brand, and right now Game of Thrones is the only thing that they have. They don't have a lot of other stuff going on as far as titles, and I think they're getting worried, with the rise of Netflix's own content and Hulu and Amazon's own content. Like they're starting to fall behind. I mean, Game of Thrones, to me, Game of Thrones is really all they have, and so I just don't see that partnership going like that. I every year I just say Marvel because like I want a Marvel skin, or like they won't do DC now because of that.
I could see them doing a Marvel or some sort of superhero partnership, like a full thing. But I could see them doing a partnership with them, like full out skins in the shop, a bunch of different stuff before Game of Thrones. 100%.
And the Avengers Endgame comes out at that time too. It comes out in March or whatever, it comes out in April. Captain Marvel comes out in March, and like I thought I saw another thing that said that they found files for Thanos popping back up, because remember he had that limited time event.
I thought that was a while ago.
It was last year during Infinity War, which is the same time frame of the year. Infinity War came out in April.
True. Okay.
So I could see them bringing it back up. More than likely just bringing back that game mode, but I would love them to, like you said, take it to the next step and, do skins and stuff. Like, yeah, I see Mel in the chat with Captain Marvel. Like, I would love a Captain Marvel skin, especially like I'm gonna nerd out a little bit, but the binary is like when she like really goes all out in the power, kind of like Goku turned Super Saiyan. But like I would love that, or obviously Captain America or Iron Man or Spider-Man, or really anyone. Like literally shut up and take all of my money. Like, sorry Marissa, we're gonna have to push back the wedding because I'm about to drop $1,000 in V-Bucks.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you need to. Hold on.
Mel, I saw the Spider-Man animated movie a few years back. Yeah, that was lit. I love that movie. It was lit.
It's good. You know what, man? I saw Legos. What was it? Legos.
Lego Movie 2? Is that
maybe? It was a Legos movie, and I went into it thinking, Legos movie, how
like the Lego movie?
How badass is this gonna be? It's Legos. Turns out, it was pretty fucking well done.
Yeah,
I think it must have been Lego.
Yeah, the Lego movie's good, and it was Chris Pratt, and everything is awesome.
And ought to be a movie straight epic. Oh, you gotta watch it, Wolf.
What do I gotta watch?
Facts. I'd move in with. I'd move in with Chad and not pay for. Chad to buy more V-Bucks for that. That's nice of her. Maybe she'll move in with her other significant other, Billy.
The Lego movie was amazing, Jakku. Yeah,
Jakku?
Jakku.
Okaya?
What are you what are you feeling on time? Yeah.
Time? Like what time?
No,
what
like
night it is?
do you want to keep going, or what do you think?
I could do a tiny bit more. We could do. Let's pick one of the last. Talk about. We got PC.
Let's just since it's close to the beginning of the year and there are a couple of games like Kingdom Hearts just came out. I know Aaron's excited for that.
Yep.
Let's talk about.
Very excited.
Let's talk about
that.
games to watch for. What game you're looking most forward to this year, and if you're is there going to be a game for you that like tops Fortnite?
Jesus. I hope. And Jakku Makai, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I hope, and I mean that with all the respect to Fortnite. I love what they've done. They've changed everything. In the sense of really gaming. I mean, you could argue they brought streaming to the forefront, and brought competitiveness to the game. They've changed even competitive from having to go to LAN events and being in a league or an Overwatch league or big concert size arenas to win money. Now I can sit my ass right here in this chair, do a pop-up cup, and get noticed that way and win money that way. So they've really revolutionized it. So it's hard to talk bad about Fortnite and Epic Games, but I truly think and hope that there is a new game this year. I don't know if it's going to be a battle royale. I think it might. I think it might be only because all the games now are being developed streaming or watchability in mind. You got Call of Duty, Blizzard, and all them now creating games of what's fun to play, but what is entertaining enough to watch that people, when they're streaming this, it's going to catch their attention and keep their attention, throughout the whole experience, because that's going to be I think is going to be the biggest thing. So like right now, I'm going to switch this just for a second because, if we go to, let's see, if we go to Twitch right now, jeez, this is bright. And we click browse. The top 3 things being viewed: Fortnite, League of Legends, Just Chat. So Fortnite has 219,000. League of Legends is second with over 100,000 viewers less. And then Just Chatting is at 72,000. Wow. Kingdom Hearts just came out. That's actually a lot higher than I thought for Just Chatting.
Well,
That's
it's
a lot
because
higher. That's the highest I've
we're
ever
under
seen.
there, right? No. Someone.
Are you
I
under
don't
there?
know what
Are
I'm
you
under. I think I did podcast. I think it's podcast and just chatting. Or,
talk
no,
shows?
no, I did
Well,
talk
there's
shows.
talk
I did
shows and
talk shows and
podcasts.
podcasts.
All right, cool. That's what I do too. Casey, man,
Yeah,
I
Casey,
appreciate
thank
the
you, man.
work. How's it? Hope everything's going well. Um, so so you get all these games, but you got to think of League of Legends is still big because of the not to be redundant, but the leagues and the competitive play before streaming, and now it's just got again. Twitch has brought everything in spotlight, so it's there. Fortnite, as we playing newer, but it kind of blew up with Twitch. Just chatting is just chatting. Kingdom Hearts is brand new, but again, that's kind of that one's an anomaly because that's a story mode. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's still awake, but that's a story mode ish
Right.
kind of game. Typically, those are slower and are sometimes harder to keep, attention
Right.
span with people and streaming and stuff like that. So that's just a game that had a ton of hype. It's got a mix of a bunch of different characters and everything like that. So I think that is a big hype behind it. But to answer your question, I guess in a really long way, um, I there's nothing really that stands out right now. There hasn't been a lot of hype because I haven't heard semi excited for, and it's coming. All they said was spring. I don't think there's a new date with it. What is it? Is Battlefield Fire
Battlefield Firestorm.
Battlefield Battlefield Firestorm release date.
What's it gonna be about? Is it
So Battlefield Firestorm is Battlefield Battle
I thought
Royale.
didn't they have it on on 5 or no? Did it not work?
No, they didn't have it on 5. Well, no. So it is 5. It's just it's like a patch note or an update, or a DLC for it. Better release date for. Do they have a back in May, October, November? So none of these.
Hey, real talk with the raid. What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for stopping by.
You need to know.
We are
release date.
doing a podcast with Kamikaze Kelly, and we are almost wrapping up here, but talking about games we're looking forward to in 2019.
So March 2019. I know they said spring
for the Battlefield Battle Royale.
For the Battlefield Battle Royale, yes. So that'll be that to me right now. The only thing that I'm semi excited for. I think they've always done big maps and everything like that, so they kind of have that map in that sense. So I'm anxious to see how they do with it. Again, the mechanics, like Call of Duty, has struggled with a little bit with types of weapons, the ammos, having too many of each of those things, how to pick them up, stuff like that. They haven't had to do that, before. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. I do think it's really smart of them that they're timing it, rush it out when they released Battlefield 5 initially. That just rushing out to make sure that you have something in the market that's competitive, I think is really
right.
So I do acknowledge and appreciate behind the scenes what they're trying to do. They're looking at all these battle royales, and I'm sure they're all just taking notes on, oh, okay, well they screwed up doing this.
Right.
Let's do that. Let's do that. So I know it's early. It's in March. It doesn't really encompass. I haven't really seen anything that really caught my eye this coming year besides that. So yeah, that's all I got. Do you have anything? Have you seen anything really?
You know, I was
coming out?
I was on the Anthem hype train. Hype train in the chat. Hype train in the chat. And I saw a couple people stream it, and I kind of turned off. Reading about it and stuff, like I was like, yep, I want to be Iron Man, and I want to fly around, and I want to, basically play Destiny in a suit. But I was watching it, and I was just like, I don't know. It's not. It's a little bit like more like Warframe, like Destiny power using than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like more like robot or like suit powers, but they would be like mechanical and not like magical aura looking based. I don't know. So I got kind of turned off by that. I am excited for Marvel what is it? Marvel Alliance Ultimate 3. So they came out with 1 and 2 on Xbox. I don't think it was on PlayStation, and it is the third one is only on the Switch, which I thought was really interesting. The graphics kind of took a step back, or I shouldn't say the graphics took a step backwards. The style took a step backwards. Like, it's a little bit more like cartoony, like kind of like like Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, or I'm trying to think of a like real cartoony game. Some of the like the Zelda Skywalker, how it was like kind of toony. So I would have liked to see it go the other direction, but I'm still really excited for that game. And otherwise, though, there's not much. I would say the trend I'm excited for is games that are enabled through Twitch. I think we'll start to see more and more of those popped up. Marbles is big. People like that Jack in the Box, but I think as Twitch allows more people to play around with their APIs, I think we're going to see some more cool stuff come out of that. I don't think it will be this year, but I think next year we'll see a game that a lot of people are enjoying, and as Twitch keeps getting more and more popular and streaming keeps rising, I think there will be a game that developers make that'll be pretty fun. And then also that year supposed Square I can never say it, Square Enix Marvel game is supposed to happen, RPG. I'm not a Marvel fan, by the way, if you didn't know. But I'm excited for that. But again, this year I'm not excited.
Well, let me ask you. You mentioned the Twitch thing. How do you anticipate the multi-stream?
I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be.
And is there? Do they have any updates?
I haven't heard anything, and I've been following the one pretty closely. I bet like when it launches it'll be kind of buggy, and maybe that's why it hasn't launched yet, is because it's been buggy. But I'm sure there's people in beta testing it already. I think that's gonna unlock a lot of different opportunities. I mean, like teams like FaZe and those guys, they already do stuff like that. I was watching FaZe Mew, my guy, the other day at the FaZe house, and they did a quad cam type thing. So I mean, people are already doing it, but I think it's gonna really enable content.
Well, they were in the same room and doing it.
I think they might have been on different floors too, but two of them were in the same, like two sets of two were in the same room. But like it was just like
gotcha. But I'm saying, so it wasn't
No,
Twitch's
no, no,
multi.
no, no, no. But they,
It was just they were able to set up 4
yeah,
different cameras and put it into the OBS
yeah,
or whatever they were
just
doing.
kind of like we have it, but add 2 more people, but and all in the same house.
Gotcha.
But I think what you're gonna see is a lot more opportunity for, again, like, think of like your favorite Xbox party chat back in the day, and being able to see. Oh no, I'm sorry, with your friends, like your fun one, but I think
Uh,
I think like
Toxic.
reactions are going to be so much better. I think tournaments are going to be so much more intense, especially those who stream for tournaments. Like, there's a lot of opportunity, and like I'm excited for like uh, Super Smash tournaments, but like think about it, you could do a huge 64 plus person bracket, and then do 4x4x4x4, and then will it all the way up to the final four, and then the championship game. There's a lot of cool stuff that you could do
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for it. Even in regards to just this, like if we continue with the podcast, it'll be a lot easier to do that. The only question I've had since literally the beginning is if we're doing a multi-stream, how does it show up for people in the side panel to
Right.
click? And if they click on my name, does it go to my feed? And do I get the view, or does both of us get the view? Can you switch back and forth? Can you watch it like a screen like
Yeah.
right now? And then I can click my name and maybe go full screen to mine, and then back out, and then go full screen to yours. I'm sure, and obviously they're waiting to pull the trigger on that and trying to get everything situated first before they do that. Which again, I appreciate that more than anything, because nothing is more frustrating than releasing a product that
Right.
doesn't work.
Yeah, and
So
I think it would deter people if you had to like stream under like a channel or like a team channel,
Mhm.
4 people. I think that would discourage people a little bit. I mean, it probably like technically wise would be like way easier to do, I would assume, than what we did trying to set up this thing. But I think it would be kind of disappointing if, like, say I always hosted I always hosted it or whatever, and then I got all the views because you're on my channel though, and your people gotta come over here and watch me, kind of thing. Like, I think that'd be booty.
Yeah.
But well, and then
Yeah. No.
to that
I
point,
agree.
like, how do subscriptions work and how do bits work, and that's interesting. It
is, because I'm in for the views. I'm in for the clout.
it would be kind of cool, like, if you could, like,
If I don't
like where the donation button goes, if you could like at the other person, even if you're on, like, say my physical page, that'd be kind of cool.
Yep. Or split it.
Yeah.
250. I mean, there's a couple. Like I said, I'm sure they're thinking of all this. We're not the only ones that are breaking through. And if we are, Twitch, please reach out to us. We got some great ideas.
At LinkedIn.
But at LinkedIn. At Snapchat me that's at Chad Slings Dick.
You're really clear when you did that.
Yeah, her mic is actually pretty nice mic. How is it? Super soft?
Yeah, but it's like really clear.
Yeah, she's got. This is it, man. This is the show. This is once we get sound panel. I'm waiting till they're stock. I'm waiting until they're in stock, but sound panels, like behind, because right now I'm facing into like a corner, so I'm gonna sound panel that off, so there's less reverb, and then
I think you gotta get that mic closer to your face.
Yeah. Well, so see, that's the thing. I don't have the mic up, so if I am soft, I can always
No,
turn it up.
well, I'm just saying
Um,
like you're way more clear. Like there's like you. I know you said there's like reverb or whatever, but like you're like really clear.
maybe I'll just talk with it in my
Hey,
hand.
hold it like a microphone. But then you need to like probably turn on the volume on it.
Ladies and
That
gentlemen,
was pretty good. That hey, on that
Yeah.
on that nice stream deck you got there, you should make that an audio clip.
yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that done. Micaiah, clip that. But yeah, I don't know. There are a couple things, but it's definitely not finished. I mean, she only moved in, a couple weeks ago, so still getting settled, and everything like that. But we'll have, and now with potential other stuff coming, there could be having to be more stuff. I think she's gonna be streaming more. Once she gets settled, she's in a training program within her job that takes I think like 2 to 3 months. So once she's out of that, then she'll have a little bit more time. But she's in the training thing to get licensed in certain things, so she really wants to put a lot of focus in that. So she can go ahead and do that, and then once that's over, then focus a little bit more on the streaming.
Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Oops. So that's not good. But yeah.
I think that
So
does that wrap us up for the first edition? The first volume?
Yeah, I think that's it, man. 2 hours, 22 minutes.
Woof.
30 seconds. Told you it was gonna be short. I don't know why. For some reason I told her we could touch on all these topics in 45 minutes, but it's gonna be shit. So plus we're just gonna start rambling and get off. Anyways, have to dial it back. Have to come back on things. Hopefully, people were talking in chat. Decent feedback today.
We went on a couple tangents, but not too bad.
Stuff like that, but yeah, and we'll find. I'm sure next week we'll have tons of shit to complain about the Super Bowl, and other stuff. But
do you want to send us out?
I'll send it out. Yeah, man. I appreciate everybody. Aaron with the gifted subs for both me and John. I think you said shoot.
Yep. Shout out Real Talk.
Shoot with the raid. If anybody did any bits or anything like that for John's, I mean, I guess he appreciates you.
That's true.
I appreciate you as well. But yeah, this is the first episode. Hopefully of very many more to come. I had a lot of fun.
Can't say I did.
Can't. Yeah. Sometimes it's just not mutual, folks.
JK, but really,
so,
I don't think we said the name enough.
Ooh, we didn't. But I really think that's a good way to end that. If we could figure out
a monologue at the end, like a final rant.
I had a lot of fun, and you'd be like, yeah, like I didn't. Like, JK, we're out. And then just you end it. Like, that's it. Mic drop. 2 multiple mic drops. I think that's the play. But yeah, this is the first episode, like I said, of many of the
Jib Jab with.
It's late. Jibbity Jabbity with Chad and Jon. That was the other name we were bouncing around, but we were going to mess that up. It's a good thing we didn't say the name of the stream at all this stream, because we would have messed that up 1,000 times. But again, thank you very much for everybody that showed up, both at my stream, John's stream. Like I said, We talked about a couple of things. I'm sure we'll have numerous things to talk about in the weeks to come. But feel free to follow us both on Twitch, turn on notifications, on Twitter, notifications turned on for that. Keep up to date both when we're streaming. We're going to try to do weekly podcasts. To do like weekly sessions. I know John has a stream schedule that he's going to be streaming games, whether that's are you still playing Fallout or no?
I don't.
Are
I don't
you
want
off
to
the
talk
Fallout?
about it.
Okay,
Save that for
so
another
we're not-
time.
So scratch that last bit. So he's got a stream schedule. He's going to be games and stuff like that. I'm a little sporadic right now until I get.
What'd she say?
He said, "This is a long outro." I'd like to give a big shout out to Live with Queen, also known as Aaron, for allowing me to use this beautiful setup here that I plan on improving, and we'll improve it together.
But you
but
can't
yeah,
promise that we'll improve our quality.
No. I'm talking. That is maybe like wall decoration. That is the only thing. The quality of the streamers will not be affected by the quality of the upgrades. But anyways, sorry for the long outro. Thank you everybody for stopping by. We'll be back. We're gonna try to do this Wednesdays at 9 Central.
Yeah.
No, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. So again, follow us on Twitter and Twitch for any updates. And thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.